Hey, what's going on, everybody? So Marlon Johnson here. If you're new to the channel, what's going on? What we do on this series is I go through books that I'm reading, things that I'm studying right now. It's sometimes scripture verses, sometimes philosophical books, business books, and I break it down the exact way that I study when I'm by myself. So in my private groups, people have loved when I broke down videos, broke down books, broke down verses. So I'm going to be doing that here for you guys to enjoy. So today, let's look at this. We're going to be breaking down a book right now. This is the Daily Stoic, which is a book on Stoicism. Stoicism is really, it's a philosophy. It's a way of being. And this is one of my favorite things to look at, because when we look at individuals at a high caliber, they have this ability to disconnect from the circumstances of life and to look at them very objectively. So we're going to be reading this one page. I'm going to read through the entire passage. Then we're going to come back. We're going to break it down line by line. Again, if you're new here, enjoy, take out a notepad, get a pen and pencil ready. If you've been here before and you haven't already done so, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And at the end of this, I want to know what your feedback is. So as you're listening, if you disagree with me on certain things, go ahead and leave a comment below and let me know what you disagree with me on, or if you do agree with me. Let's jump into it. What is the fruit of these teachings? Only the most beautiful and proper harvest of the truly educated. Tranquility, fearlessness, and freedom. We should not trust the masses who say only the free can be educated, but rather the lovers of wisdom who say that only the educated are free. So why did you pick up this book? Why pick up any book? Not to seem smarter, not to pass time on a plane, and not to hear what you want to hear. There are plenty of easier choices than reading. No, you picked up this book because you're learning how to live, because you want to be freer, fear less, and achieve a state of peace. Education, reading, and meditating on wisdom of great minds is not to be done for its own sake. It has a purpose. Remember that imperative on the days you start to feel distracted, when watching television or having a snack seems like a better use of your time than reading or studying philosophy. Knowledge, self-knowledge in particular, is freedom. Let's unpack this, because a lot's being said here, and this isn't necessarily the easiest text for most people to read, especially if you don't read often. So let's run it from the top. And it says, what is the fruit of these teachings? Only the most beautiful and prosperous harvest of the truly educated, right? So in other words, like, what's the point? What's the point of learning is basically what this is saying. And it's saying, well, the reason we go out and we get educated, the reason we learn, right, we're talking about tranquility, right, which is like this peacefulness, fearlessness, right, like not having worry, not having doubt, and freedom, right? We should not trust the masses who say only the free can be educated, right? Because this was a dogma back in the day that not everyone needed to be educated. Only the wealthy were educated. Only the rich were educated. Only the high status were educated. But rather, the lovers of wisdom, so people who actually love wisdom, people who seek out wisdom. In fact, if you saw my last video, you heard me talk about wisdom, who say that only the educated are free. The people who have understanding, those people are the ones who are free, because they can make educated choices. They can make true choices because they are aware of their options. That's what freedom is. In fact, they speak about this. If anyone's ever studied slavery, modern day slavery in the Americas, you would see that when the slave owners were looking at how to enslave the individuals, the African Americans, it wasn't about putting them in bondage and putting them in chains. That's not how you enslave a person. The way you enslave a person is to get them to mentally enslave themselves, get them to believe that they cannot go out, to really limit their education, limit their awareness. Very much like an elephant. When the circus owner wants to trap an elephant, as a young age, they put that spike in the ground, they tie the elephant's neck to a rope, and then they tie that rope to a spike. And unfortunately, the elephant can't pull the spike down. But as it gets older, it gains the strength to be able to put the spike down. It's not around its neck, it's around its foot. And it gains the ability to pull the spike down, but it never does, because it remembers all the times as a young elephant trying to pull that rope and not being able to break itself free. The elephant becomes a slave to a lack of awareness, to a lack of education. So why did you pick up this book? Why pick up any book? Not to seem smarter and not to pass the time on a plane. So it's saying we don't pick up books just to go through the motion. right? And it's not to hear what you want to hear, because when you're reading a book, you're getting somebody's thought process uninterrupted. This is why I like reading more than anything else, because when I'm reading, I can't argue with the author. I can't interrupt the author. Their thought process will continue to flow because the words are already written. So even if I disagree with you ever been in a conversation with someone and they disagree with you and they start interrupting you and it throws off your thought pattern, it throws off your train of thought? You can't throw off a book's train of thought because it is already written. There are plenty of easier choices than reading. No, you picked up this book. No, you're watching this video. No, you are listening to me right now because you are learning how to live. Because you want to be freer, you want to have less fear, and you want to achieve a state of peace. Education, reading, and meditating on the wisdom of great minds. Right? What does it mean to meditate? It means to stay focused on that thought, to concentrate, to dig deeper on what the wisdom of great minds is not to be done for its own sake. You're not doing it for doing its sake. You're doing it for a purpose. This is something that I learned from a mentor of mine. He said, when you study, it's important that you understand what you're studying for. Why are you studying the material? For example, if I'm in school and I'm studying chemistry, I'm studying it for the sake of passing the test so that I can graduate from the class so I can move on to the next grade. It's a very intentional reason on why I'm picking up that book to learn what I'm learning. Oftentimes people pick up books and there's no intention behind the gathering of the knowledge. So they simply become a storehouse of a lot of useless information because they never gave it a usefulness. You have to give your information a use. So remember that imperative on the days you feel distracted. When you're studying and you start to get distracted, when watching television or having a snack seems like a better use of your time than reading and studying philosophy, remember that you're doing this for knowledge. You're doing this for self-knowledge in particular, which means you're doing this for freedom. As you're listening, as you're taking in this information, as you take in information throughout your day, understand that I am doing this on purpose to take me to a certain position in my life. I'm studying right now. I'm reading this. I'm sharing this with you guys, but I'm also sharing this for myself. You are watching me in the middle of the process of gaining deeper freedom, gaining deeper peace, gaining deeper understanding. That's why I'm reading this right now, and I'm sharing it with you because I want more people to experience the freedom, the peace, the joy that comes with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So I want to know from y'all. Leave in the comments below, do you agree? What's your take? What's your perspective? What are your thoughts on what we just read here today? Are you seeing something different? Do you absolutely disagree with me? Let me know. Let's have a conversation about it, because I learn from other people's wisdoms, from the wisdom of great minds, and you have a great mind, so I want you to put it to use and share. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment as well. So guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and enjoy the rest of your day.